Bună seara tuturor! Intrăm acum live pe YouTube. Suntem deja la o întâlnire specială, pentru că în această seară vom face o călătorie în ceea ce numim Geometria Sacră. Și când vorbim de geometria sacră, vorbim tot ce înseamnă de fapt creație. Vorbim despre forme geometrice care au o putere anume, care au fost folosite de la începutul timpului, de altfel de la crearea Universului și până la ceea ce putem folosi noi acum, la ceea ce observăm în natură, la ceea ce putem, bună seara tuturor, ce putem folosi noi din natură și mai ales ce putem învăța de la Geometrie Sacră. Invitata specială în această seară este Shani Lehrer, profesoara noastră pentru România din partea Școlii Misterelor. Școala Misterelor, iar, are așa un sunet anume, un sound, evident, e traducerea mot-a-mot din engleză, sună într-un fel anume, în realitate sunt acele cunoștințe care au fost trecute de la maestru la maestru, de la începutul timpurilor până acum, au fost puse și aranjate de regele Solomon într-o anumită ordine ca să fie mai ușoară cunoașterea, dar până de curând toate aceste cunoaștere au fost date doar celor aleși și inițierea în tainele Școlii Misterelor aparținea maestrilor să își aleagă studenții. Din 1997, tocmai ca planeta și tot ceea ce avem de făcut noi aici și toată evoluția de care se vorbește, această ascensiune și a planetei și a noastră ca specie, pentru ca acest lucru să poată să se petreacă, porțile Școlii Misterelor s-au deschis și acum, cel puțin pentru primii pași, elevii pot alege să se alăture. Și sunt fericită să fim împreună în această seară cu inițiați din România în Școala Misterelor și imediat se va alătura Shani. Spuneam, vorbim de geometria sacră, însă primii pași în Școala Misterelor îi reprezintă Life Activation, un proces prin care tot ADN-ul primește din nou acea lumină primordială. Bună seara, Paula! Și vălul de uitare se ridică, apoi inițierea și sunt 2 zile de inițiere, la sfârșitul căreia, energetic vorbind, se primește inițierea aceeași ca de pe vremea regelui Solomon. Și apoi Geometria Sacră. În septembrie ne pregătim să avem pentru prima oară în România și faza a 3-a din Geometria Sacră. Până acum au fost Geometria Sacră 1 și 2. La sfârșitul celei de-a 2-a etape de Geometria Sacră vorbim deja de terapie, că ești terapeut în cristaloterapie și ce se învață și se practică acolo trece de la propria persoană la a face și a servi alte persoane și spații. Se pot proteja spații, se pot curăța spații și iar dacă poate până acum câțiva ani, dacă vorbeam de aceste lucruri, păreau foarte eu știu, ezoterice. Acum știm că există energii, de altfel cred că și bunicii noștri știau lucrul ăsta, pentru că și ei curățau spațiul în care intrau, țineau spațiul curat și energetic, indiferent dacă o făceau cu tămâie sau cu o rugăciune, acum căutând din ce mai mult prin România am descoperit ritualuri care pe vremuri se predau așa din generație în generație și erau firești. Nu se întreba nimeni de ce înainte să bei un pahar cu apă îi faci cruce deasupra, de ce spui o rugăciune, ce înseamnă de fapt să fii de ochiat. Până la urmă despre acest fel de energie vorbim, însă așa cum din păcate nu s-a predat de la nivelul bunicilor sau străbunicilor noștri, a rămas scris undeva. Această știință care a fost scrisă și pusă foarte bine de la regele Solomon încoace, putem acum să o învățăm prin Școala Misterelor și prin cursurile pe care pentru a 4-a oară le avem în România în septembrie. And now is joining us the one and only Shani Lehrer. And I just hope the connection is right.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, I'm so sorry. I had a little technical issue coming in today, but I'm so glad to be here. Hi, everyone.
Hello. We just asked them to keep the camera off. Maybe at the end we'll turn it off because we are broadcasting also on Facebook and YouTube.
Amazing, amazing, amazing.
I just said a few words about mystery school and sacred geometry, and actually I told them that lots of stuff that you taught us, we just remember them because our ancestors were doing naturally, but we lost that. And we have the opportunity through mystery school to have it right and not to question, oh, but was it the right thing to do? Was it the right spell, I should say, or the right word to say upon water to bless it or so on, or to enter in a room and to clean it? And we have the opportunity through mystery school to know it exactly, to be a science, not just a legend.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. So it is. So how do we have? I love to know, who's around today. Do we have Romania? Do we have other countries? Who's here from where? Maybe there's a little thing to put your hand up. I don't know if you know how to do this. How do we do this? But maybe
they can put it into chat. Where are they from?
Yes, please.
I can tell you from the participants. We are Romania, we are Chișinău, and they will be joining us. We have Austria.
Amazing. Now I see some names that I know, and I'd like to see by hands with the blue hand. You know how to do that? You go on your name, and then you click, I think, on your name on the right. You right click on your name, and then you can do hand up. So I'd like to see hands up. Who has been already in initiation or in any class with a mystery school that's online right now? Let's see some hands. I see Carmen, I see Hermantas, Mariana. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And who's maybe I should ask who's not been. So it's good to see you all and welcome. And Roxana, will you share with me how do we best use this time today to convey what it is that the people that are online would benefit from? It's always difficult for me when I don't have dialogue with the people here. I always love taking questions and sharing. So what would be the best use of this precious time that we have together?
I opened the room with things about sacred geometry, and I think details about what sacred geometry how could serve us now in this period, in this moment. And there is not only for our personal development, but we can actually use it and to serve us and to serve the others.
Yes. So first of all, sacred geometry, you know, in short, exactly like you say, Roxana, it serves us and others, is all about order. And when I say order, it's not let's organize the house and my closet. It is about the fact that sacred geometry and the fact, you know, if you look in any spiritual tradition on earth, and especially the ancient traditions, you will find different geometries that are used there. There is a reason for it. And the reason they are used is because sacred geometry, or geometry, it is sacred. Geometry is the language of creation. It's almost like saying, you know, when we think and we speak and we create something. So I think, oh, I'm going to create this and that new book. So I think it, then I bring it down to action through my thought, my words, and my actions. Divine creation happens through geometry. So the geometries hold the patterns of frequency and vibration. And if someone here is a scientist online, then we know, you know, Nikola Tesla used to say, if you want to know the secrets of the universe, you need to know energy, frequency, and vibration. So geometry is the key to vibration. So if you slow down music, or if you go with special equipment into music, you will find that sound or words have a geometry hidden behind them. So before the sound can even happen and become a material object, it is existing in the mind of the divine as a geometry. So everything that is physically existent, be it my little pouch here, be it my little bank machine with my card, be it my body, they're all existing on geometric platforms. Now, we can make it really simple and say, okay, any architecture cannot exist if we don't have geometry. Now, in mystical thought, we remember that as above, so below, meaning whatever we need to build things in the physical must also somehow be existent in spirit. So when we start reconnecting with sacred geometry, what we're actually doing is we're saying, not that anyone online has this problem, but for those of you who have ego, no, not anyone on this line right now, but some of us have egos. You know, when you look around on the street, you'll find many people with ego. So ego is not the divine thought, is not thinking about how do I create more goodness everywhere. Ego thinks about me and myself and I, and how do I survive, and how do I do the next moment, and how do I do the next thing, me. Now, when we learn to connect with sacred geometry, what we learn to do in our life is transcend our small mind that thinks me. And a lot of times the me creates all the problems, because one me against the other me, then there's war. But when we remember that me and you, same, and actually one divine creation, and if I do my song and my vibration, and you do your vibration, and each does their vibrations, then like a healthy body, everything functions perfectly. Everything is in its right place. When I said order in the beginning, you know, when people do ancestral work and clear, deep held emotional baggage, most of it happens is because someone, some egoic thought or construct or pattern, misplaced itself, put itself where it shouldn't be, where is not its place. A lot of us live lives of someone else. They're like, oh, but these people have this life, so I should, you know, that we're always comparing outside of us while we've forgotten our own order. So when we connect with geometry, it's like healing the body. What is a virus? What is a coronavirus? It's a disorder that came in and shouldn't be here and is actually causing lots of shouldn't be or should be, depends how we look at it. Because when there is a disorder, what happens is the universe will co-conspire to reorganize in whatever way it needs to. And if it's a virus, it's going to be a virus. But we have the way, because the original divine thought, that is geometry and sacred geometry, is all harmony and is all peace and is all balance. So by connecting with these geometries, we start to learn how to raise our vibration, to raise our frequency. And when we do that, we can raise the vibration and frequency in our spaces. We can start removing things that are not ours, thoughts that are not mine, emotions that sometimes stick to me that are not even mine. They're all happening around, and I'm so susceptible to them. So all of these things are possible when we start tapping in to this power of transcending our human mind and our human thought into the mind of all creation, of source, of this that speaks as geometry, of this that co-creates through us with geometry. Now, this may sound like Chinese for some of you, and for others of you, it may resonate. If it's Chinese, you are welcome to come and learn the language. It's really, really profoundly transformative. If it's not Chinese and it resonates, please ask questions. I mean, please ask questions anyway. But if it does resonate, then go deeper and find ways to learn, because what is resonating is what you're made of. Because we are that, our body is that, our cells are that. We exist upon the Fibonacci sequence. It's all one big mathematical formula, if you will. You know, God is a mathematician, it's true. And when we start connecting with that, we start opening our mind, not to the egoic controlling, I need to do this and I need to do that, but rather, who am I? Why am I here? And how do I embody this without suffering so much? With the ability to create more harmony for myself and for everyone and everything around me. That's a bit that I can share about sacred geometry. How is that, Roxana? And do you feel we could share more?
And what can, yes, once we have the knowledge, how can we practically help us and the others? I told them that the second step is the one with crystals, and also with cleaning the spaces and
Yes.
the energies.
Yes. So
Yeah.
geometry is a huge science. It doesn't stop at the story I told. Right, Sana?
What is the third step
So
about?
as you said, step number 1, healing, clearing spaces. Step number 2, crystal healing. And there are 13 sacred geometries, of which only 7 have been handed down to teachers to teach. Oh, sorry, 8. So they are held and deeply, deeply held. They're literally the keys to the secrets of the universe in a way, because the whole universe is created upon them. So as Roxana said, the second part is where we work with crystals and crystal healing and crystal gridding of spaces, very high energy work, very holy work. And the third step of sacred geometry is where we go into a special healing modality. And in this healing modality, we are zooming in to our emotional layer of our aura. And by zooming into the emotional layer of our aura, we are using Egyptian work, Egyptian geometry, and work with the Egyptian energy. And what we do is we clear the emotional layer of our aura. We have 7 layers in our aura, and we teach all about this in our initiation class, which whoever's not been to is really, really invited to join. We basically, from these 7 layers, there's one layer that's the emotional layer. It's the closest to the body. And it's the one that gives us the most trouble. And that many times when the emotions are not clear, we have physical illness that can manifest when it's really bad. So what this Sacred Geometry 3 allows is for a healing session that you can do on yourself or for others, where we sweep clean. It's like a hoover. You hoover clean physically this layer of the aura that holds a lot of baggage, a lot of emotional baggage that we carry for ourselves and sometimes with our family as well. Are there any questions I can take from anyone? Or if there are more questions on your end, Roxana, that you feel we can serve with.
Me, always. I was just putting a share also on Facebook, and I'm inviting them also the participants to share on Facebook the link from YouTube.
Thank you.
It's okay. We don't hide around what's going on in this period.
What do you
Are we
mean?
talking about in this period when we don't know who to trust, what news to follow, how much is true and what is not?
Yes.
Uh, if it will, if that's it, that's the end of the world or no. Um, Again, how do we know? How do we know the truth? How can we use the tools to feel what's in it for us and what not?
Well, this is a very complicated answer to a simple question. We don't, is the bottom line. That's the, in the honest truth, we don't. We do know that there is something going on. We do know that the best that we can do when we don't, for things that we don't have control over, is to strengthen our vessel, which means our tool and our energy, to the highest possible that we can hold. Because if everything is energy, frequency, and vibration, guess what happens with many people around the planet having an awareness that's able to hold the frequency, it's a number, of love, or the frequency of joy, or the frequency of peace. Because we are in a soup, whatever is happening on the planet right now, there is a soup of fear, people dying, losing family members. There's a real, there's a virus going around and it's creating a havoc. And, without judging the who's doing what, because that doesn't bring us into any high vibration. One of the things that is the greatest wisdoms that I've ever come to, probably, is don't complain. Stop complaining. And what do you need to do to be happy right now? Just in this moment. That doesn't mean that my bank account is going to be okay. It doesn't mean that I know what to do tomorrow. It doesn't mean any of that. But what needs to happen so that moment by moment, because we fall on the small things, on the relationships with our beloveds at home, on did he do the washing up or not, on did she put her thing the right way or not, on did this word of my child do the right thing or not, and we're constantly in this complaining energy, even if we don't say it. And one of the things to maintain a high frequency is stop complaining. And that's something that we can all do. We can catch ourselves and say, okay, I'm going to bring in vibration of love now. How do I do this? I want to shoot someone, but I love the person and I know I do. And if I were to leave the planet tomorrow, what would be the word that I would say rather than bashing them and telling them off and why they're wrong and all of that? And so really, really, what we learn and the tools that we offer, they're not going to fix you. They're going to help you have more space to choose love again and again and again. So they're not going to take your problems away, but they are going to give you space between the impulse, the automatic, I want to, my husband again. Sorry, husbands, we love you. Or my wife again, or my child, or my coworker, or whatever it is for you, or my computer. Okay? We will learn how to bridge or grow the gap between the automatic reaction and the one who is the pilot that says, you know what, I can choose to connect with the mind of the universe and be love right now. Be it. Not think about it, not talk about it, not preach about it, just be it. And this is what happens. I'm just going to say that one sentence, Roxana, I hear you. And this is what happens with initiation. When we connect with the geometries, what we're doing is we're transcending our egoic blah, 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 which has opinions and doubts and complains all the time. And we're learning to more and more transcend. Does it mean it's going to happen like this? No. Or maybe for a few lucky ones, because you've done a lot of work before, your karma is there, you're ready. For others of us, it will take time, it will take muscle, but you have the tools and you can work it. And honestly, the tools that are on offer here, especially that are coming to Romania now with initiation and with sacred geometry, are, and I speak as a 20-year in the field and more years learning, are the most cutting edge that I've met. Because rather than being another story that I've done and then I go back to the same person I was, I can really see consistently for myself and many, many people that go through initiation, do the energy work, that there is consistent work that happens and growth that actually stays. Not when I compare to someone else, but when I look at myself yesterday and today. There is progression. And progression is the key of a path that is for you when you choose. Roxana, sorry.
It's, I hear so often though, okay, it doesn't matter what I do because I'm one and we are, or maybe we are a bunch of us, but we are just a few. But the huge energy is, it's low vibration. What's the point of even try?
You're not alone. If every cell in your body thought it was alone, you wouldn't have a body. But they work together. And when every cell is empowered to be what it is, then there's no cancer anymore. Now, this is extreme, what I just said. But what I'm saying is, we function like an organism as humanity. And as humanity, when we remember we're not alone, and when we remember when I am only about me, 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 then there's always someone outside of me that's thinking something else that I have to fight. But if I remember it's not about me, 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 and actually, we are all connected. And if I do the best in me, it can't be harming someone else. Then we start to understand and we start to see now, Roxana, to what you're saying, there are more and more people waking up to this reality that the fact that there is a border between a country doesn't mean that if the river on my side, I throw a lot of poison in it, won't reach the other side. That's just the way it works. We're one organism. Even if we put a imaginary border line there. And I'm not saying don't have boundaries. We should have boundaries with people. Definitely. That's a different story. But I mean, we need to know our identity. That's a healthy boundary. It's knowing who we are and where I begin and where I end and what the container is of my being. But thinking that I am separate from someone that I hurt or giving myself permission to hurt someone because my need is more important than their need in the moment is not the way we were designed to be. It's just not. And more awakening is starting to happen to that. Now, some people will fight this with everything they have. Say, what do you mean? If I don't save myself, then no, nobody will. And it's okay. It's okay. Maybe try. See what happens. And honestly, in the world we are, you probably will get hurt. Once or twice or 3 times. Are we willing to get hurt in order for all of us to grow? I'm not saying become martyrs. So these are very, very tricky concepts because on every one of them, and that's what we learn when we go deeper into the science of spirit, we learn that there is no one truth. Everything can be seen from most angles, and most important is not what is done or what is said. It's where is it coming from? Who is intending it? Is it my ego or is it my higher self? And if it's my ego eating a chocolate cake, then it will be really, really bad. If it's my higher self, who knows?
Yes, you're so right. It's just sometimes it's so much easier to complain and to go to the place that you say, okay, why to do good? It takes so much energy, and at the end, well, everything collapses. but at least if you do bad, everybody is staying out of your path and they are scared of you. Okay, they don't send you love, but at least you're fine. At least you know you didn't lose time by being good.
You know, Roxana, we've created as humanity a lot of issues that we can see. And this is not to make us wrong. This is just to say, you know, this is what it is. Look around at nature. We created amazing things as well, by the way. We have to remember to see them too. It's so important. We can't change them from the mind that we've created them. And the mind that wants to understand everything is part of the problem, in a way. And therefore, going into the energetic component that is beyond what the mind is, we start to raise our frequency. This is how I feel. It's about sensations, not emotions, sensations and feeling. Could be emotions too, by the way. It's not, but it's when we start to resonate with higher frequency, everything changes, not because I thought about it, because that's what that vibration allows to even be. So I'm not doing anything. I am just raising my frequency. And so what we offer is the tools to do this. And that is really the essence of why we're here today. Now, I am going to be leaving you very shortly. Shall I take one or two questions, Roxana, that are really urgent from people online?
Yes, actually, I would like to ask them who are in here in Zoom. How can we help, or how can you, Shani, serve you, or what can we do for you? We have the news, and we ask you to pray, and to, for those who were at the initiation, to do your calling upons for our meeting in September, beginning of September, the first weekend of September.
Talk about that. That's an initiation.
Well, actually, the same thing
Don't-
of praying. It's the same thing. Okay, if you haven't done the initiation, well, just pray. It's the same thing.
It's true.
It's just more precise in the.
It's true.
It's
I was joking. I was joking. The reason I say this is because in initiation we learn a way to work with angels, really. And Roxana, you're referring to the fact that we were doing a prayer all together.
Yes. And I want to thank you, and I want to share with my colleagues that we did that for Romania, also with the Kabbalah group. Um, and thank you. And it's magic. And until they will write, because just I invite you all just to write something, and then at the end we can even stop the stream and to just say hi when Shani is just before Shani will leave. It's just one last question.
Yes.
How can we still believe in magic? And what kind of magic can we believe in nowadays?
Everybody who's on this call, I guarantee it without seeing faces, knows that magic exists. Because, you know, the miracles of I thought about someone and suddenly they came, or I really, really, really went down to my knees in prayer of I just don't know anymore. And then the light comes. And when we surrender to this that we are actually made of, then miracles are reminders that we're on track. So to me, it's a miracle that we're here all together right now. And, you know, countless miracles happening all day, every day. So, you know, don't ask for a miracle in order to believe it. Ask for a miracle to remember who you are. and the miracles will come, because everything in the universe and in the world of light that is around us, here to support us, is here to remind you who you are. Because everything that is of goodness and beauty wants everyone to remember who they are and be in charge and take charge of their life and do good and beauty to others, so that we can make the world a better place in ourselves, in our families, in those around us. So don't ask for a miracle to trust. Ask for a miracle to remember who you are, and trust when you ask, and see what happens. That is a perfect.
Thank you. And for those who are watching on Facebook or on YouTube, now of course I will have the phone. Just ask us for details for the event in September, and for live activation, which is available all the time, and it's the first step. And now I will stop the.
Can I say one more thing, Roxana? May I?
Of course, yeah.
So about that, yes, please. If you're around and you're allowed with social distancing right now in terms of law and all of that, get a life activation, because that opens within yourself the way. It's literally physically bringing in higher frequency into your body, and Roxana offers this, and you know the practitioners in Romania today that offer this. This is an absolutely powerful modality. So definitely as a key to raising vibration, start with that. This is very phenomenal and definitely a first step. And you know, ask and you shall receive. This is a time on the planet where whatever we ask for will come into manifestation. And it's a time to cut the stories and get real. So all of that is on offer for you in a way right here. And so if you feel called, if your heart says, and if your heart says, no, ask more. Because sometimes that's actually our ego saying, mm-mm. And sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's just not for you. And that's okay. But it may be for you. And so for that, you have our friends in Romania that are there. Roxana, Evelina, thank you so much, and all of the team for hosting. And I can't wait to be in your country. I just love it. And I hope that all the prayers open the skies for us and we make it happen. And see you all there.
And now we say bye to live